What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Shimigami X, aka your Captain X. I'm leader of Squad X, and I'm here today to give you your weekly prescribed Bleach chapter review. Today, what I'm going to be reviewing for you is Bleach chapter 588, entitled The Headless Star Part 7. But before we even do that, you guys already know what it is. We have to cue that intro. Alright guys, for my new subscribers who don't know me, as I just mentioned, my name is Shimigami X, aka Captain X. So nonetheless, without lengthy introductions, let's just get into the review. Alright, Bleach chapter 588, The Headless Star Part 7, was a much better chapter than what we've seen in previous weeks. As of lately, I'd say for even the last maybe 15 to 20 chapters have been, well no, take that back, probably the last 10 chapters have been semi-lackluster. They're not really what we expect of Tate Kubo, because with Kubo we expect a lot more content in his chapters, whereas lately we've been getting very short chapters, and the pacing of these chapters have been very slow to the point where there'd be very little to no progression in the chapter. But that is not the case with this one. It seems like the pace of Bleach has significantly increased, and it seems like we're back on schedule and back to normal. I don't know what was the case, but nonetheless, that has nothing to do with this chapter. So now let's get and talk about this chapter. What are the good points about this chapter is that we clearly get some great story progression, and as well as some, character reveals, and also some questions. There were questions answered in this chapter that we've been wondering for a long time. For starters, let's talk about the case of Bambiel. Other reviewers have called this, I've called this, some of my subscribers have called this, and you probably called this yourself if you're any long-term fan of Bleach. That we all knew that Star Knight Z would probably, after you find out what Star Knight Z's powers were, we'd probably assume that that's what was used on Bambietta, which obviously is the case in this chapter. And what does that mean? Does that mean Bambietta is dead? More than likely. If I remember correctly, I believe that she has to... Actually, no. If I remember correctly, I believe that she doesn't kill the person that she basically enslaves with her, like her blood and whatnot. So that could or could not be the case. I have to recheck that and make sure, but if I'm wrong, please hit me up in the comment section below and let me know. Anyways, so now let's move on. That was one of the things about the chapter, and I know a lot of reviewers are going to talk about this as well. The fact that Yumachika called out Star Knight Z to be a man, I obviously don't think that's the case. I think that he only said that literally to antagonize her, to wind her up, basically to get her to reveal whatever secret powers or whatever it is she's hiding up her sleeve. Because Yumachika isn't he isn't a dumbass, and he's a soul reaper for a reason. He knows what he's doing. So basically, I believe that what he said was only to antagonize Star Knight Z, to reveal her powers, as you could see by the surprise face that she pulled in the panel after Yumachika stated what he said to her. So that's that bit, and that's basically the end of the chapter. So let's talk about basically the main contents of the chapter and the beginning of the chapter, which obviously is Juha, Hashwells, and Uryu into the Soul Palace, and they are confronted by none other than Kurinji, which is one of the very first of the Royal Guard that we're introduced to, and when the Royal Guard first were introduced. Anyways, now as for Juha, Hashwell, and Uryu not being affected by the hot water, that doesn't surprise me, because if you remember what Kurinji said in several chapters ago, that this hot water, basically anybody who doesn't have very much spiritual pressure, or basically isn't generally around about the level of a captain. Well, he didn't say those words specifically, but that's what you can kind of gauge. Anybody who doesn't have a significant amount of spiritual pressure is evidently going to be killed by the hot water that Kurinji created, basically his healing spa. So it makes sense that it would just completely destroy and boil out these fodder Quincy. So that doesn't surprise me at all. And the fact that it had no effect on Juha doesn't surprise me whatsoever. But what did surprise me is that Juha barks confidence. I know Juha had the power to take down Genryusei Yamamoto. He also in turn has his power. He also in turn has his Bankai, and any of the Star Knights had died. So yes, Juha is inevitably very powerful. But we have no idea the power scale of the Royal Guard. And for him to basically say to Kurinji, I believe he's the fastest of the Royal Guard, that do you really think someone like you can stop me? I'm like, wow, this guy came up into the Soul Society with a whole bunch of confidence, and I hope he has the power to be able to back that up and doesn't have to have Uryu or Hashwell assist him, as much as it would be interesting to see what Uryu can do and what Hashwell can do, because we haven't really seen too much of them. All we do know is this, that Hashwell has mad power, and that is obviously stated by what Hashwell did to Ichigo's sword, how he dealt with the situation with Shunsui, how he was able to just make his entrance, how he's able to enable Juha and Uryu to make the entrance into the Royal Palace, and how he's able to just summon, you know, for the Quincy just like that by using some next dimension kind of Quincy cross thing that we saw in this chapter. So it's clear that Hashwolf has mad power. Juha is obviously more powerful. So do I think that basically Korinji will be able to take down Juha? No way. No way. This is the final villain that we're talking about. Well, in all honesty, we don't know if he's the final villain yet, but as things are shaping up, it seems like Juha would make a fitting final villain. Also, now let's move on into even earlier in the chapter. Something I thought was very, very interesting was that when Hashwolf said that he would understand how Juha would feel, but then Juha basically said to him, like, what do you mean? Okay, besides all that, why would Hashwolf say that? I can understand what you mean. I can understand how you're feeling. The only reason I could see that that Hashwolf would say that is basically the fact that, you know, Juha's returned to a place that he's once been before, and he's like, obviously he's going to take it over and he's going to destroy it and crush it and whatnot. So the best example of this is in the series Naruto, where Sasuke returns to the Hidden Leaf Village with Orochimaru and the rest of the gang. And it's also, that's happened in one of the most recent episodes, where Sasuke stares over the village and basically contemplates his like mindset of where he's at right now. And probably Hashwolf's thinking that Juha is probably going through a similar situation. I use another anime to basically help my viewers and subscribers understand basically the mindset that Hashwolf thinks that Juha might be going through. But obviously we see that this isn't the case. Juha clearly just doesn't care, and he obviously has an agenda, he has a mission, and he's out to do it. And nothing's going to stop him. Anybody who gets in his way, he's going to slaughter. Now, what does this mean? What could this relationship have been between him and you know, the Soul Palace before? We do know this though, that him and Yamamoto fought 1,000 years ago. Where that battle took place, the contents of that battle and what exactly happened, we don't know. But we do know that battle did inevitably take place, and obviously something drastic happened for the events to be as they are now. Also, with all that being said, Genryusei Yamamoto did state that he was the strongest Shinigami born in the last 1,000 years, and that basically the reason he remains head captain because no Shinigami is stronger than he is. Obviously that doesn't apply to the Royal Guard because the total strength of the Royal Guard surpasses that of the Gote 13, even while he wasn't stated as head captain. So with all that being said, we know that these Royal Guard members are at least around about the same strength with Genryusei Yamamoto. The reason that Juha inevitably defeated Genryusei Yamamoto is 1, for the sake of the story, and 2, he outsmarted him, just like what Aizen did to Genryusei Yamamoto. So would it be a case of Juha not overpowering Korinji or the other Royal Guards, but quite simply outsmarting them, having an ace up his sleeve? Who knows? That's something we're going to have to wait and see in the next chapter. But personally, this chapter is a very good read. It's a refreshing break from the lackluster chapters that we've had in previous weeks. So, anyways guys, this review seems very short. Why does it seem so short? It shouldn't seem so short. I'm sure I'm missing something. No, I believe I more or less covered it. Other than that, we see that Juha has mad power. Basically, what could have Juha's background been with the Soul Palace? Could Juha be in some way related to the Soul King? Who knows? Because we do know this. If Juha does eventually take down the Soul King, which I doubt is going to happen, but if it does happen, that's going to basically cause a disturbance in like the balance of the universe, because we all know that the Soul King's job is to maintain balance between the three realms, obviously being the Soul Society, Hueco and the world of the living. So with that being said, if Juha takes him down, it's going to cause complete and utter chaos. Maybe that's Juha's plan, just basically start an entire new revolution. And what's his plan with the Star Knights? We just don't know. These are all things we're going to have to wait and see in the oncoming chapters. And so it's promotion time. Everybody remember to check out Squad X, which link is always in the description below. That is the link to my Facebook fan page, where I give you regular updates on what's going to be going on with my channel, competitions, events, and so on and so forth. Join and like that page for basically to get more exclusive content from me, and also to be able to message me directly and, you know, discuss things with me, because it's pretty difficult for me to reply to everybody on YouTube having over 400 subscribers. It's not possible to be able to reply to 400 people through YouTube, but it's much easier to do so if you go through Facebook and ask me like a general question. Anyways, also I like to also for you guys to also check out Squad 00 Universe, which link is always in the description below as well. Squad 00 Universe isn't something that's endorsed by myself, it's endorsed by obviously myself too, Charles' Anime World, The Elite Ace, Tekken 101, Northside Z, and Mr. Anti-Lock, and several other famous reviewers where we all just chill out, relax, enjoy, and discuss different topics about anime and manga, have competitions, like different events, stuff going on. So it's a nice place to chill out if you're an anime fan and also a gaming fan. Hope you guys have enjoyed this chapter review for mine this week. And anyways, I'm signing out, and as always, my people, take care and peace. And always remember this, people. Always keep it 99 plus 1. You do the math. I'm signing out.